My name is Dr. Yeong Kim, and I'm professor at the University of Texas at Austin. And I'm also the principal investigator of Project Dual at the university. And today I am pleased to feature Noah Diaz, who is part of our RA Spotlight series of a month. And we're highlighting Noah because of his excellent research assistant work that he's done on the project. Noah has taken on many different roles on my project. He started off in my project in fall 2025, and he really shined very early. He said, I wanted to take on multiple roles. And I usually say, oh, maybe that's not a good idea because it's hard to balance so many different things. But, Noah said he wanted to do it. And I said, sure, let's try it out. And he excelled on so many different areas. And I'm so glad I said yes, because I needed help in multiple areas. So Noah is, always the first person to volunteer when I need something and I'm desperate for. Sometimes, one of the ways we recruit research assistants is we go to classrooms to present. And then, of course, there's always someone who gets sick on the last minute or has an emergency. And so I'm frantically trying to find an RA to fill that spot last minute. And Noah's always someone I can count on to come to rescue me. And so I wanted to thank Noah for that because he's come to my rescue, not just once, but multiple times. And Noah also contributed to my scheduling team where we're trying to get our research assistants trained on how to do visits with families. And there are some challenges in getting all of that scheduled. And Noah was critical in helping me come up with templates of different things we can say to research assistants to get them to either take on the training or figure out a different role that may not be a best fit. And so I really relied on Noah to help me get all that figured out. And he was always my sounding board, like, oh, Noah, can you tell me what you think we should say? And then he always had such great ideas that I was able to implement. And then because Noah's been so outstanding, I encouraged him to, of course, be not only a discussion leader, but also a mentor this spring semester, because I couldn't think of anyone else better than Noah to help guide new research assistants. So we want to learn more about you. So tell us more about your major and your graduation date.
All right, I'm a psychology major and I'm expected to graduate in the spring of 2026. Almost there.
Wow, very close. I noticed that you went to a community college before coming to UT Austin. And so I'm curious, why was that the best course for you rather than going straight from high school to UT Austin, but going with community college route first?
Oh, well, I actually attended South Texas College through an early college high school program. So I
Mm,
had the privilege to earn my associate's degree in psychology before even graduating high school. So when I was still a high schooler, I knew that I wanted to pursue research and graduate level education. And I ultimately chose to attend UT Austin because of the many opportunities that were available for undergraduate students to get involved in research. This was especially important for me because I knew I would be graduating 2 years early, and I just wanted to take full advantage of the many research experiences available just to better prepare myself for graduate school applications, for study.
I see. And I also noticed that you're minoring in sociology in addition to psych. So why did you decide that was a good fit for you?
Yes, I decided to minor in sociology because I'm deeply interested in how systems and institutions shape our lives, especially how these structures can affect people from differing backgrounds. Through my coursework, I've genuinely learned so much, and I've just expanded my own worldview, which has not only helped me better understand the connection between individual experience, but also larger social structures as well.
Gotcha. So one thing I was so curious about is you have intermediate level of Spanish and you're of course our English office RA. So I'm assuming when most people meet you because of your name, they may assume you speak Spanish. But then if they find out that you don't speak Spanish that proficiently, how do people react and how do you feel about it with people just assuming you know Spanish? I'm curious to hear your thoughts about that.
People tend to assume I speak Spanish proficiently. An event like this actually happened recently when I was at the airport. Someone
Okay.
behind me in the boarding line asked me what zone was boarding, but they asked me in Spanish. And
Oh,
at
you know
first,
what they were asking?
yeah, I was like, huh? At first, I was a little thrown off, but honestly, it just made me reflect that language, identity, and stereotypes intersect with each other. And people, they'll always hold assumptions and stereotypes regardless of their intention. But
Mhm.
personally, as long as the intention is well, I don't really have any issue with the assumption. And I took it well. He had well intentions.
Yeah. I mean, I that happens to me all the time too.
Mhm.
So like because of my name, people assume I'll be proficient in Korean, but the reality is I came to the US as a young child, so my Korean is not that strong and it's not at a professional level. So it's hard for me to converse professionally in Korean, but people assume that I do. So I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah.
And what are your plans after graduation?
So after graduation, my goal is to be admitted into a PhD program in clinical psychology. If that path doesn't work out immediately, I plan to apply to post-bac or a research-based program that focuses on clinical psychology so I can continue strengthening my research skills while preparing for future doctoral applications.
So do you think you want to become a professor or you think you want to become more of a clinician or you want to do more research or a combination of that?
I'm interested in doing a combination of all three. My intro to psych professor, she's both a clinician and a professor, and that kind of inspired me. Kind of from a similar background as me, Hispanic. She would have her like grad school classes, and she'd be the only like Latina in the courses. So really inspired me, and I was like, you know what? I want to be just like her.
That's great. I hope she knows that.
She does. She does.
Okay, sounds good. So it's so competitive to get into a clinical psych program. Um, what are some ways in which you are like preparing for that?
So I really took advantage of UT Austin being a T1 research institution. So
Mhm.
my second semester here, I took on three research projects simultaneously. It was a little stressful, but I mean, it worked out in the end, and I feel fairly confident in myself as a researcher, as a, scientific communicator, but hopefully I played my cards right, but I just know regardless of what happens, I have a solid foundation here at UT Austin.
Yeah, sounds good. And tell us more about where you grew up and maybe some key milestones in your life so far.
Yes, so I grew up in a small town in the Rio Grande Valley area known as Mercedes, Texas. And
Mm.
some key milestones in my life, so far at least, are that I graduated community college before I graduated high school. I chose to attend UT Austin and just so many wonderful opportunities from that research, jobs, even getting, two on campus jobs at the same time. And although I'm not there yet, being the first in my family to graduate college,
Oh, wow. And probably the first to also probably earn a doctorate going forward, I guess.
hopefully soon.
Sounds good. So then, you said you worked on so many different research projects. And so how did you find my project dual? And what made
Yes.
you decide to join when you did?
I heard about Project Dual through an email sent out by one of the psychology academic advisors. I opened up the application and then it was kind of just sitting in my browser for a little bit. And then I saw an advertisement for the lab again on LinkedIn. So
Oh,
then it was kind of like, you know what? I might as well put in the application. So that's how I heard about Project Dual.
yeah. Even though you were already committed to three different research labs?
They had ended. They were like semester based.
Oh,
One
gotcha.
was a course. One was through a course. Another was a program with my department, and another one we had already submitted the manuscript. So I guess my duties were over already.
Oh, I see. So you were looking for something new at the time.
Yes.
Gotcha, gotcha. And so what did you do or do now as a research assistant on Project Dual?
So in Project Dual, currently I do interview processing where I organize and maintain applicants' interview packets. I share their information with Dr. Kim so she could decide on admission, and then I send the results back to applicants through email. I'm also a discussion leader and a mentor for first semester RAs in the project. And then formally, I used to be survey facilitator and scheduler, where I would reach out to field RAs, both English and Spanish, to see if they were interested in getting field survey training so they could conduct home visits, then facilitate scheduling with the trainers, scheduling all that. And then I also used to be a classroom presenter as well as a mock participant to ensure that the surveys for Project Dual were working well. Everything was just going great with that.
Sounds good. So, what do you like the most about being in Project Dual?
What I like most about being in Project Dual is that whenever I have like a question or a concern, there's always a resource I could contact to get an answer, whether it's another RA or Dr. Kim or that Notion page. I just feel so welcomed and supported in this lab setting. And I feel confident asking someone like, hey, I need help, which is something I've never felt confident to do ever before.
Oh, wow. Okay. So one thing I wanted to ask you is, you've been in so many different research projects, at UT. So what do you think is different or how my research lab is run relative to, because you've done so many different
Yes.
ones?
I really like the structure, how there's like, you have the project dual discussion with you, and then the discussion section with the RA, and then you have one on one mentorship. And then just like the Teams channel being there, you could contact practically anyone in the lab. If you think someone's role is cool, you could contact them if you want to join their team. It's just so very accessible.
Oh, okay. Sounds good. And what new skills did you develop while being in my project?
So, throughout my time in the project, I've developed organizational skills, communication skills, teamwork, and as well as leadership skills. These skills developed as I performed my roles and as I have interacted with other RAs and Dr. Kim.
Sounds good. And how has your experience with my project changed or not changed your view of research?
So, my experience with Project Dual has definitely changed my view of research. I never imagined that a research lab could be so structured with various discussion sections and clearly defined roles for undergraduates to take on. And just seeing how each part of the project just fits together has given me greater appreciation for the organization, collaboration, and attention to detail that really goes into this lab. And it honestly shows that RAs do belong in this project, and that no matter what skill you're at, whether you're starting out or you have previous research experience, you belong. And that's thanks to the structure. And I really thank Project Dual for showing me that new side of research.
And how has your experience at UT changed as a result of being a part of Project Dual?
I would say that being part of Project Dual has changed my experience at UT Austin in a way that I feel more accomplished in what I'm doing and how I'm spending my time at this university. I feel more busy, but honestly, I'm proud to be busy if that means I'm part of a team that's dedicated to doing good work.
Sounds good. And what are some of your other significant experiences as a student at UT Austin?
So, being a first generation student from a small hometown is a significant experience in itself, but has definitely given me a significant like experience at UT Austin. So I was the only one from my graduating high school class to decide to attend UT Austin. So coming here, I knew absolutely no one. And just having that growth of feeling lonesome at a place with over 50,000 students to then just feeling so integrated in this place, and like that feeling like you finally belong has just been so significant to myself and my perspective, and has definitely assisted me in my mentorship and leadership style as well.
Okay, sounds good. So you also worked as a peer mentor for Foundation Scholars Program and also as a Texas ambassador. How does that connect with your future career goals of becoming a clinical psychology professor or clinician?
Yes, so as a peer mentor, I meet one on one with my mentees and build relationships with them as a source of support for them throughout their first year here at UT Austin. And this connects with my future goals of being a psychologist as they communicate with others one on one and kind of provide that support for them as well. As a Texas ambassador, I'm given the opportunity to lead tour groups around UT Austin's campus. And this connects with my future goals of being in academia, as academics usually attend conferences, give presentations, and generally communicate information to others. These opportunities connect with my future goals of being a clinical psychologist as well as an academic, and I am just so grateful that I have the privilege to partake in these duties throughout my time here at UT Austin.
Sounds good. And what advice would you have for future research assistants?
Honestly, the biggest piece of advice that I could give, and it's a piece of advice that I really wish I knew when I was first starting out with research, is to not be afraid to ask for help, whether it's with other research assistants or with the principal investigator. Speaking from my own experience, it could feel embarrassing to ask for help, but oftentimes it works out so much smoother in the end when you let someone know that you need help rather than just trying your best to float by.
Right, right. And do you have any questions that you wanted to ask me that I could answer?
Yes, so I really want to know, how did you come up to like setting the lab up and creating these various roles as well as like the different like procedures for the various roles?
So I guess you're curious about the fact that I have so many different roles and how every role is so structured. Is that kind of what you're curious
Yes.
about? Okay. Well, so as I'm running the research project, so of course our goal is the science, which is
Mhm.
collecting quality data so we can, publish the scientific findings. And in the process of that, there's just many things that goes into it. So many roles. I mean, in my head, I thought, okay, we need, these 5 things, right? But then those 5 things mushroom into 10 things, and those 10
Mhm.
things mushroom into 20 things. It's just making really the end goal is getting quality data from our participants, and there's just many things that has to come to make that happen. And so various roles just ended up getting created over the years, and because we wanted to make sure people had support and know what and to learn like what they're supposed to be doing, we created protocols, and now we have exams where you have to demonstrate competence in what you're doing. And so it really all comes down to having procedures in place, and for students to have something written that they can go to get guidance on, and of course also asking other research assistants and also me, but having a formalized written document that describes the protocol has really been helpful.
Thank you, Dr. Kim.
Did you have anything else you wanted me to answer, or anything additional you wanted to add?
I don't, but that answer was very insightful and it answered my curiosity.
Okay, sounds good. So thank you everyone for listening, and congrats again to Noah Diaz for being recognized for our RA Spotlight of the Month series. Thank you everyone for listening.